Chance. Oh, we're live. Holy shit.
All right. All right, let me go ahead and do this. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Pressing Buttons. And man, we got
It'll
some
be the
buttons. We got some buttons that need to be pressed.
it'll be quite
Uh
possibly the shortest pressing buttons in existence. Maybe,
I
maybe
don't
not.
know. I don't know. There's a little bit of some stuff that I can mention. I mean, but we do got two big stories that came out, and fam.
Well, one of them, it's been lingering for a couple of weeks. It's not like it was new, but one of them dropped yesterday, and I was like, "Am I being punked today or what?" And I was like, "Oh, it's not April Fools. This is actually real."
No, it's not
Um,
April. It's not April Fools. But upon hearing upon hearing the news, I'm pressing buttons,
so so
man.
so so
Like, fam.
So the one news that came out about 2 weeks ago, the Prince of Saudi Arabia, leader of the country, the guy that suppresses human rights, was linked to the killing of a journalist, and he's a big fan of the China's re-education camps. He now owns
90,
96% shares of SNK.
that is one Mohammed bin Salman.
Yes. So he owns 96% shares. Now, back in 2020, he had a 33% stake in it.
And he only got that 33% with the intention of getting an additional 19% over time.
So after he made that initial announcement of buying the 33%, he was saying, "Hey, I'm going to buy more shares over time," which he did. So by the time February hit this year, it was at 96%, and it only just maybe, I would probably say maybe not even 2 weeks. I'd probably say maybe a month ago, there was rumors and stories saying that he owned 96%, but we weren't for sure until finally 2 weeks ago they confirmed he owns 96%, and it happened right after KOF 15 came dropped.
Which is kind of funny because KOF 15, according to Steam numbers, is not even top 25 of currently played video games.
I heard it sold well on the consoles, but yeah.
Sold what? Yeah, I mean, selling is one thing, but like, I'm more concerned of who's actively playing. Where's
Well,
the
for all intents and purposes, the reason why the numbers on Steam is the way it is, that apparently a lot of players were complaining about frame rate. So that's why a lot of them are refusing to play on Steam and just play on consoles, because the frame rate on PC needs to be fixed greatly, which I'm like, okay. I mean, I don't know. I roll my eyes at it. I get it, but I'm like, whatever. I get it, I guess. But
No, frame rate is important. I mean, come on, man. In current year, I don't care what video game development company you are, if you cannot put together a game and have it be properly optimized, you fail your job.
yeah. And the thing of it is about the Saudi prince owning this is that this isn't the only company that he owns. Let it be known, this man owns, putting numbers out here. These are legit numbers. He has investments in Activision Blizzard totaling $3 billion worth of shares. EA, $1.9 billion of shares. And Take Two, $1 billion in shares.
This also, keep in mind, this is the same guy who who orchestrated the hacking of Jeff Bezos' phone.
Yeah, but as I'm saying, also the human, just, it's all the fucker. It's the same shit that everybody, because he's also the reason why WWE did the whole pay-per-view over there, those Saudi pay-per-views, because he likes it. In WWE, they go through with it, and some of the wrestlers aren't really keen for it, and they don't participate because they're not a fan of it, which is understandable, makes sense. But yeah, this is, I don't know, it's weird because you sit back and you're like, well, what does this mean for SNK?
I'll tell you what it means for SNK. It means that a lot of people who had such high hopes and faith in SNK, not so much. I'm not going to say like 90% or 100%, but at least a very loud, vocal part of the fan base are all screaming the boycott. Everybody's screaming boycott SNK. Don't buy their shit because of this. We can't support it. Which I'm sitting back going, So what is you stopping the purchase of KOF 15 and any other future SNK titles? How is that going to dictate the change for things to get better? Like how is that going to make the percentages of shares that this guy owns, how is that going to like decrease?
I
Like
mean, nobody knows. That's the
where's
thing. It's weird because, like, from what I'm hearing, the reason why he has ownership in it is that Saudis apparently they're trying to branch out beyond just oil. They're trying to put a
so
lot of
there's
focus on other things like the entertainment and gaming industry. That is something that you could put money into and you can actually get some money out of it. So it's like beyond just being oil, you put your stuff in entertainment and gaming industries. Now you have a bit more income coming in. You're not depending on one avenue of income, you know.
all right, I guess that makes sense.
I mean, and the thing of it is too, they invested 300 million into Capcom.
Hmm. That's not enough to make people freak
That's
out.
only 5%,
Yeah,
but
it's just
still,
5%.
but still, it's the fact that like, okay,
I mean, it's not enough. Basically it's enough to make people say, that's negligible. It's nothing for us to freak out about. Now, now if
I
that you
don't
said
think
that
Japan would ever
now,
allow Saudi to buy Capcom. I can tell you that fucking much.
right now you're saying that was what 3%, right?
That's about 5%.
Like 5%, right? Now,
Yeah.
if we were to put a 1 in front of that 5,
I mean, the thing of it is too, it's funny
if
because it's
it's
like,
15, now if that shit turned into 15%, everybody's gonna be like, all right, hold on. Like, hey, everybody, let's keep an eye on the money here.
I mean, but the thing of it is too, that's interesting is that like the thing of it is like you have the Saudi prince, everything that's happening, it's like the money just it still keeps going. And then like Riot Games came out. I think you remember when Riot Games came out and was like, yeah, we're gonna end our partnership with Saudi Arabia because we don't agree with their human rights.
Yeah, which
And they're the
was
only company that's really been like, nah, we're good. We're backing out of this. Because Riot Games are like, all right, cool, we got morals, which hey, it makes sense.
I mean, it's a smart move for them to, say that.
But it's just it's at this point nobody knows what it really means. It's like I don't know if Saudi Arabia is gonna have dipped their hands and say, hey, no more Metal Slug or anything. I think they're just like, all right, cool. Which I gotta be honest with you, I think the Saudi prince is going to invest more in pachinkos than the actual video games. That's just me,
And I would be fine with that.
because it seems like pachinkos is like the big money maker any fucking ways.
It'll forever be the big money maker, which is
It's
why
gambling in its like
it's
ridiculous form.
yes, it is. But the way pachinko works in Japan, in which I'm pretty sure I told you about this, the way that
Mm.
they do pachinko is, while it is essentially gambling, it's Japan's way of going around the moral fabric of gambling. Basically, those metal balls that come down are supposed to represent coins, which you can trade for actual money.
Hmm.
So, like, the more metal balls you win, the more that can be converted into actual money. So that's basically their way of saying, yeah, we skirt that line of like of just blatant gambling. It's not like going into playing the slot machines. Everything is still like metal balls and coins or points or whatever that you have to get converted into money. So in other words, if you're trying to walk into a pachinko parlor and win like a big ass jackpot, the most you might get maybe a couple, not even a couple $100. I mean, I don't know like the full, max pot or whatever of
Yeah.
of how much you can really win. I just know that people sit in there and smoke and drink away, uh, just playing those damn games. They're just playing them left and right,
I mean,
and
like,
you might win like maybe a couple bucks. I don't know.
yeah. Um, Side note, since we're talking about fighting games, supposedly there's a lot of developers that are saying it's going to be years before we see any games, particularly fighting games, picking up Unreal Engine 5, which that makes perfect sense because Unreal 4 didn't really get used until what, 5 years ago,
Yeah, it's about the last 5 years of its life.
and it's still going strong.
It is. I would be highly interested in seeing how they can incorporate Unreal Engine 5 into a fighting game. I think the question would be who's going to be the first developer to utilize Unreal Engine 5 for a fighting game.
Whoever does Killer Instinct.
Yeah, that's the other thing too.
I'm
Killer
just saying.
that reminds me, because as much as Microsoft wants to do a follow-up or a brand new sequel to Killer Instinct, I think their issue is who do we get to like who's the developer, because they pretty much dropped the ball twice. They had High Voltage Studios
Yeah.
do the first one, season one of Killer Instinct. You had an amazing studio build the game,
Mm-hmm.
and you just sat there and let them get scooped up by Amazon.
Which made no
And
fucking sense.
it's like you saw how good the game was, and they had plans. They really had a lot of plans and ideas of what they wanted to do for the following season. But before that season even got greenlit, Amazon came in and swooped them up. And so Iron Galaxy had to come in and pick up the pieces and learn the process of High Voltage.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they did an amazing job. Iron Galaxy, they're known for, Iron Galaxy is known more for getting fighting games that are already done and tweaking, fixing, and refining.
And they were behind the Third Strike Online.
Yeah,
on
they were
PS3.
behind. Yeah, they were behind that.
They
But
still have.
but to fully develop a fighting game from the ground up, or just off the bones of of the company that you're taking over, that was definitely a daunting task for them. There was a very, very good documentary about about the whole production of Killer Instinct. It's on YouTube. I believe it's called Fight On, the Killer Instinct documentary. I highly suggest you check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know if Killer Instinct would be the first one to do it. If they would be if the future Killer Instinct game would be the first company to say, hey, we're gonna utilize Unreal Engine 5 for this fighting game. I got a feeling it won't be Street Fighter. I think the first one to do it,
Tekken.
I don't think it would be Tekken either. I don't think
You don't think Tekken?
I don't think Tekken is going to be the first.
Who
I could see being the first, if they were to really hammer this out, get everything nailed down, I guess study this thing as much as you can, and then see what you can do with it. It might be NetherRealm.
Yeah, probably another Mortal Kombat to kind of, blow it up and stuff. I mean,
because as much as they're talking about Tekken 8, I haven't heard anything about Tekken 8 using Unreal Engine 5.
That's fair. That is fair.
Unless I missed something, I haven't heard anything about it. So I'm saying, like, in the wide spectrum of companies out there that can still make fighting games, I see Unreal. Unreal's pretty much my top for who's going to be the first to do it.
Yeah, it's that's going to be interesting. The second part of this. So this past weekend, I think was it Sunday or Saturday? This dropped.
You talking about the anniversary?
Kingdom Hearts 20. Was it yesterday?
It was
Sunday?
It was yesterday. It was during this weekend.
So yesterday, I was on my phone and I saw something pop up for Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary. I'm like, oh boy, here comes Square Enix milking the fucking franchise yet again with another collabo. And then they showed a trailer for multiple games, but really, you're here for the highlights, which is one of them was a mobile game, which actually looked pretty interesting. But I don't buy mobile games, so I have fun with that.
I saw the game myself, and I said, "Yep, that's cute." I'm pretty sure it's going to be a riot in Japan, but I do not care.
Not this guy. But in an effort, though, we got this Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, which, yeah.
And let me just say, the way that they did it, the way they just snuck that trailer in there.
Because the 20th anniversary, which was
like a big highlight.
So two things happened. One, you had the announced mobile game Kingdom Hearts Missing Links, which, if you've seen clips of it, it basically I thought it was a console game. That's how good it looked. But I was like, oh, it's a mobile game. I don't care because I'm look until they put it on consoles. I don't really give a shit about mobile games based off of any of these things. It's kind of like because didn't Final Fantasy VII have like a mobile game?
Yes, it did.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't care because it was one of the side games that was part of that whole. Was it
I believe it was before Crisis. I
it
think that's
was
what it's
one
called.
of them because it was like it was during that whole Final Fantasy VII
Yeah, like
shit.
Like the Final Fantasy VII milking run during the early 2000s.
It was a Dirge. It was
Well,
Dirge of
sorry,
Serapis.
the mid
Yeah,
2000s
because it was Dirge of Serapis, Crisis Core, and I think you are right before Crisis.
before
Before
Crisis,
Crisis was
and
the
then
mobile game.
the animated film
Then
Last Order.
yeah, Last Order, and then Final Fantasy Advent Children. It was like a 5-prong attack with to varying results. Crisis Core actually ended up being a really good game, which influenced the Final Fantasy VII remake
Mhm.
in many ways. Dirge of Serapis, well,
It's a game.
it's a game.
It's a game. It exists,
I
and that's
played it one time, and I don't want to play it ever again.
like CJ, just stop, just follow me.
Bought the
It's a
strategy
game.
guide, bought the
No,
game.
no, CJ, please. It's a game. It exists. I'm giving it that much oxygen. We will not talk any further about Dirge of Cerberus.
Somebody at Square was like, let's do a first person shooter with Vincent, third person
No,
shooter with
let's do,
Vincent.
let's do
Why?
it. No, somebody at Square said, you know what? I really love Devil May Cry.
Did the most
Let's
half-ass
not.
Devil
No, no,
May Cry.
no, no. I really like Devil May Cry. Let's unmake that game and use Vincent as our Dante. He's not gonna have a sword. No, he's not gonna have a sword. We're gonna give him his gun, but he's
Which
not gonna
again,
do. He's
I'm
not gonna do
fine
none.
with.
No, he's not gonna do none of the Dante stuff. No, it's not gonna be a hack and slash. No, but I really like the game. Okay, so what are we doing with this? Again, that's why I said we're not. No, I'm sorry. I refuse to give any more oxygen to this. Let's go ahead and check out this trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts, aka The World Ends With You, Part 10.
Right there,
The
when
Lost Masters.
it said the Lost,
自分が望む
the
結
Lost
末で
Arc
はなく
Master, like when it said the Lost Arc Master arc, like Lost Master arc, I was like, wait, what is this? At first, I thought, is this DLC for
Okay.
Kingdom Hearts 3?
Okay, I need people to understand this. So I beat Kingdom Hearts 3. We did a whole podcast, pressing buttons, special pressing buttons podcast about Kingdom Hearts 3, right? It's a very lackluster game, despite some lot of bright spots that it has, but it's a very lacking game.
It's a game that went full Disney heavy with like very little Final Fantasy influence.
Yeah, except Moogles. That's it.
No one cares.
So they did an update for the game, which I remember I did download the update. And the update included the ability to play as some of the other characters during the end game when you're fighting against the organization, which it's interesting. You get to play as Roxas and and the rest of them during those fights. You couldn't do that before in the regular game. It was just kind of like, oh, it's epic. I get to team with these characters, but I can't use them. Fine.
Basically, they gave us additional characters for boss rush mode.
Yeah. And they also added in the whole organization data fights again, just like in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix.
Mm-hmm.
And I also believe there was they did an extended inning with Sora, which kind of finally answers what the fuck he was doing near the end of the game, which the original game didn't really delve into. So one of the other additions when it was a secret boss that you had to fight that I believe takes place in the World Ends With You universe. I believe
it's in Shibuya. Like
one of the
Sora is in Tokyo,
or it's from the same. I don't know if you did you play Kingdom Hearts 3?
I did.
Okay, you remember that game within the game? Was it Vecna, whatever?
Yeah.
And shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think it takes place in that world. I think it takes place in that world, but not really. It's weird. But anyways,
this is the reason why I still say why I'm sticking to The World Ends With You.
I think it is The World's End With You. It's just that trailer in the game within the game when you get to Toy Story World threw me the fuck off because I thought I swear to God, I thought I was playing a different game. I was like, hold up, is this Kingdom Hearts 3? What missing? Because the trailer is so fucking ridiculously good as hell. And I'm like, what game is this?
Yep.
I'm interested. And it's like, oh, it's just a game within the game.
It's a game within a game we will never play.
But anyways, you fight against the a secret boss who is like crazy hard. I never touched it, but I've seen people, play it and stuff. And essentially, I guess by the end of the boss fight, it's very vague on what happens to Sora afterwards, but it's implied that he somehow got stuck in that world that you fought the boss at.
And the only one who knows, his way out of there is your boy Zigbar from the organization 13.
Zigbar, we find out, is the actual it was me, Austin. Oh, son of a bitch, it was me all along. And
when I saw him,
Zigbar was really behind all this shit. It wasn't even Zenmus and all.
Dude, when I saw Zigbar, I was like, wait, Zigbar out of all Organization 13 members, this guy. Okay.
The game literally said, "It's me, Austin. It was me all along." I was like, okay.
But yeah. Let's check out this trailer.
Yeah, sorry, I just had to put that out there.
自分が望む結末ではなかったと絶望するのなら、他の世界に退場すればいい。選択肢は無限にあるはずだ。
It's so real. The heart resides within the soul.
I swear this guy. I would say he's getting his quotes from Uncharted, but all this crap predates Uncharted.
Tetsuya Nomura is up his own ass. I'm sorry, he just
choice is yours once more. I'm like, yo, why is my man Sora chilling right here?
Got real clothes on.
My man is in a Tokyo apartment.
あなたはこの世界に来て7日間ずっと眠っていたの。
It's like, what if we did some Final Fantasy-ish with
ここ
Sora?
は
Hey, we're seeing Sora with no shoes.
So this is the same city from the
聖者の
the
世
secret
界
boss
である
fight.
けれど
Yep.
This is the
私
world
た
ends
ち
with
に
you.
とっては死の世界ってことになるみたい。
Now this is very surreal
Seeing the Heartless in Shibuya.
in a very real world type way. And we see some beta gameplay. It's a dark side again, because it wouldn't be a Kingdom Hearts without a dark side.
And of course, Sora just runs to danger.
Uh-oh. And gameplay right here.
So we're getting more Kingdom Hearts 3 gameplay, where Sora's pretty much a superhero.
I mean, makes sense. Kind of reminds me of the Kingdom Hearts 3. Remember the initial trailer with the
Yeah.
train?
I do find it interesting seeing Sora with normal looking clothes and not his traditional
一度
outfit.
退場すれば
Well, it's like they didn't go Disney with it. But,
Yeah.
more organization members.
Again, what is the end goal with these guys? 4 games over the course, over 20 years,
Like the
spanning 20 years. And hold on, just when I thought I had enough questions, this extra bit has me asking more.
手がかり見つかるといいね。おい、どこへ行くんだ。
It's either Riku or it's freaking old boy.
I saw the blue flame and then the fire. There's only one character that I see doing
Hades.
that. It's freaking Hades.
Which
If we
in
hear
and of itself
if we hear James Woods' voice, I'm like, yep, hi Hades.
I forget Hades and Maleficent kind of have that whole connection, and
I mean, they're boss characters. You fought them and they don't die.
Meanwhile, we get Kingdom Hearts 4 announcement. Hey, Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2. What's up with that?
Well, right now we're not gonna put Final Fantasy in the middle of our 20-year celebration of Kingdom Hearts.
Full of shit.
I mean, I really wouldn't see them doing it. It would just be so out of place.
It's such horseshit though, because it's like, bruh, like, what are we doing here? Where it's like,
But we knew that they've been working on this game. I knew they've been working on Kingdom Hearts 4. I just wouldn't expect them to go, oh yeah, 20th anniversary, bam,
well,
drop everything.
I don't know whether it was Maximilian, but I think it was Maximilian. Maximilian saying that they might unveil Part 2 because this is the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy 7. So keep hope alive.
Yeah.
I
mean, we don't have an E3, so now everybody's scratching their head going, so what are they gonna do? How are we going to get games released?
Good segue. No E3 this year because they're going back and regrouping, to which I'm like, what's the point? Who wants to go to E3?
See, you say, what's the point? You say, what's the point? I sit back and say, it's a bold move there, Cotton. Let's see if it works for them. Really hope it pays off, E3.
What's the point of going to E3 anymore? I'm sorry.
Because you have not one, not two, not three, but at least 4 and possibly 5 companies that have said, GG, peace out. We're doing our own shows.
Like folks laughed at Nintendo for Nintendo Direct. I'm like, no, Nintendo has Nintendo Direct for a fucking reason. Because it's like, why do we need E3 when we can just get our boys in a fucking green screen room in front of the Nintendo logo and get old boy out here with his creepy smile and be like, hey, here's the next Nintendo game, and then keep it moving.
But fam, Nintendo was like Joker in The Dark Knight. They're not bad people. They're just ahead of the curve. They were ahead of the curve because the moment they started doing the whole treehouse thing and their own Nintendo Direct, everybody started following suit and doing it too.
Now,
because they realized how much money they could save by just doing it themselves.
Now Sony doing the Sony experience, it's been great because it's been giving them opportunities to where, like for Gran Turismo 7, for instance, they had a couple of PlayStation experiences, impromptu videos for like 20-30 minutes highlighting certain games.
And not even just PlayStation experience. You also have the State of Play.
Yeah.
So it's stuff for Sony State of Play. They got PlayStation experience. And I wouldn't be surprised if they came out with another third show.
So to me, you have that. Then on the other hand, Microsoft took advantage last year during E3, be like, oh, Sony and Nintendo in here. I guess we'll take over and we'll have our presentation with, I think that was the year they bought Bethesda, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like at this point, Microsoft can kind of do the same thing if they so choose to. So again, it goes back to, what's the point of E3 other than going there, maybe hanging out with your friends and maybe getting the opportunity to play demos? Oh, that's right, because the companies can actually just give you the fucking demo to download right after the presentation.
Once you also, even if you're not there, if you got enough pull with these companies, you could be
AKA
like, hey,
sucking their dick, sir. I don't know why you're beating around the bush.
I'm not. I'm clearly saying that if you got enough pull with them, meaning you've done enough stuff for them in the past, you've done enough coverage, XYZ. XYZ, insert hand.
I wish that was true.
You could possibly just get like a demo code or something thrown your way via email.
Look, Sony, I didn't have a PlayStation 5 last year, so I wasn't able to download the Final Fantasy Stranger in Paradise demo and shit like everybody else was. I hate you.
Look here, sir. Out of all of us at Three Black Geeks, you're the only one with a PS5.
Hey, they're easy to come by now, according to some people at GameStop I came across today. So it's getting easier. The scalpers are dying down. It's just you got to get in where you fit in, basically.
Amen. Miracles have happened. Graphics cards are back to being decently priced and fully stocked.
I mean, I should know. I got a Best Buy credit card and bought one. So now I'm like, got to pay off this credit card. But was it worth it? Yeah.
You have a graphics. Yeah, you have a graphics card, and not just any graphics card. A graphics card that's going to hold you for some years, sir.
Pressing buttons. Sponsored by Maximum PC Magazine.
They still exist.
Come on, Maximum PC Magazine. Sponsor us. Please sponsor us.
Yo,
I ain't gonna
somebody,
lie. I ain't gonna lie. I
somebody
bought
please clip those. Seriously, somebody please clip that and send it to Maximum PC Magazine.
I ain't gonna lie. That was how I came about getting the parts from the fucking for this new PC that we're podcasting on right now, because I was able to like find parts from off their builds and stuff and just go from there. They're pretty good at like helping you out in terms of if you're looking for specific PC parts, to kind of walk you through the process. So they're very useful if you don't want to go on to YouTube and look through different videos and try to find out who has the best video for helping me to build a PC. And because let's be real, the process of PC building it does feel daunting up front. Let's not get it twisted. It does if you don't know what you're doing. But
Well, I agree and disagree. It's daunting depending on the aesthetic of your PC. Like, what are
yeah,
you going for? Are you going for a certain theme, or are you just trying to put something together? If you're trying to put something together, it is fairly simple.
well, I think a lot of people is daunted because they don't know what they want.
Well, that
So
too.
it's that thing of like, do I want to do this? So what is it exactly do you want to do?
Well, that's
Yeah.
also very simple. You just break it down. Like I take, I basically approach it like Full Metal Alchemist. I break it down and rebuild the PC that I want. So
Yeah.
first determine what kind of PC do you want. Do you want just something for streaming? Do you want a full-on gaming PC? What's your
Do
target?
you want your own Steam box?
Like what's your target? I would say, what's your target resolution? Are you trying to go for a 4K build, or are you trying to do a 1440p build? Is ultra wide gaming your thing, or do you want to stick with with 4K gaming? There's all these options. So you just
Yeah.
break down your options, and then just pick the route you want to go with, and then after that, everything becomes simple.
But go back to E3. I think we saw the writing on the wall because I felt to me where E3 was on its last leg. Once the internet, because you remember back in the day when we were in high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tech TV, G4, that was your inroads to look at live E3 coverage. Like we were at school when E3 was happening. So during that week, so we get home and we had to watch the highlights on whenever X Play came on or whatever, whoever was doing it on Tech TV at that time.
But
So
then, and it wasn't until like I think 2005, 2006 when they covered all of
live.
when they covered it live for several hours for 4 days straight.
And my thing was right around that time, because even when back when we were in high school, you could still go to say GameSpot.com or IGN and get the highlights of what they covered, right? But like I said, internet and where you were getting information, it was pretty much after the fact. It wasn't like right then and there. I think right around 2005, once the internet and sites were able to get the live coverage right then and there, and G4, if I remember correctly, was kind of sort of on his last legs at that point.
G4 still had a good 3 more, but I'm gonna say 3. I'm being very nice.
Being very generous. I'm say 2 more years.
I'm being very generous, but a good 3 years, because it wasn't until about 2008, 2009 when everybody officially said we don't care about G4.
But I would say
G4 at that point turned into X Play and Attack of the Show channel. That was it.
And I would say around that time period, that's when ease of information of getting all this stuff could pop up on YouTube.
Yeah,
because YouTube was still the wild, wild west. You could post up some shit and you wouldn't be getting no content ID and none of that shit. You might get somebody.
It was a race. Honestly, it was a race to see who would be the first person to upload a trailer for the latest video game that was coming out. Whoever was the first person to do it got the most views.
Yeah, that's all it really was. So it was definitely a situation where once the internet caught up, it's like, well, what's the fucking point of going to E3 other than, oh, you might meet some influencers and people that like Dashi or any of these other people you might see at E3. And that was cool. Hang out with your friends, you play some demos, you just, joke around, and that was cool. But then even past that, it was still a case of like, yeah, I mean, hate to say it, DSP even pointed it out because he went to E3 one year and was like, well, what's the fucking point of born here? What's the point?
Well, no, he was expected to go back the following year, but he never did because Machinima never invited him out. But that's a
But-
whole other discussion.
I mean, it's a whole other discussion, but he had a valid point. Like, what's the point of E3? You go down there, you're walking around, you're doing all these things, and you're standing these long lines to play demos for what? When I can go online and I can see somebody playing the demo and already see it right then and there.
Because the difference is it's you playing the demo and not watching somebody else play. That's just me.
I mean, I
I'm-
get that, but at
No,
the same time, it's like, do I really want to stand a long ass line? That's
But
the
hold
thing.
on. I can stop. I'm sorry. I can put a pin in that one. First of all, why would you be standing in a long line in the first place? You're going out there representing a company that already has ties and connections with this, with this particular industry. You should have a press pass. You should have an influencer pass. You should have something that puts you in front of everybody else that gives you preferential treatment. But I don't know. We just two dudes that pretty much are like that have gone through that example thanks to like San Diego Comic-Con. So shout outs to SDCC.
But also too, when you had places like PAX and Comic-Con that actually evolved their shit to where the general public came. By the time E3 decided the general public came, it's like, well, what the fuck is the point? It felt like it was just too late. Because I think this is like around 2015, 2016, they actually had general public.
No, it was like industry. I think it was like people
Industry
in the
only.
industry and press only.
Yeah.
But they started letting people in by early 2000s.
Okay. But even then, it was just like.
But it was 1 year when they stopped doing it and they said press. I think it was like press and industry people only. Then they realized how much that didn't work and they went back to inviting general public again. And but see where that still follow, like that whole thing still goes in Japan. Like Tokyo Game Show, for example, they still do 2 days where like 2 days of press day and the rest of it is general admission. So I'm sorry, general audience. See, for press and industry folks, they have Thursday and Friday to take a look at everything and do everything they need to do within those 2 days. But then the 2 days after that, that's when everybody else comes and the place gets even more crowded.
Yeah. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, the E3 that we've come to love from the big announcements, you know, we're not like, I think we were
that E3's long gone.
We were never going to get like the E3 where you had to get the PlayStation Underground CD to get the special super duper news from game. It's like that's done.
See, but you know,
the internet evolved, and it's like.
But you know where here's where I think they messed up. It's such a missed window of opportunity for them. Instead of giving us those underground CDs, they should have had like a download section during the time of E3 that could still be called PlayStation Underground. You click on it and you just download all the demos that were shown at E3. You know, they could still have that image of PlayStation Underground and, you know, and still provide demos. It's just you're doing it digitally.
Yeah.
Give it its own section on like in the PlayStation store. You know, just something. Hell, I mean, you can also show the attention to detail and nostalgia for anyone who even remembers PlayStation Underground.
Yeah.
Had they kept that going, but they missed that boat.
Yeah.
And plus, let's be real. Over time, dude, demos are expensive.
Yeah.
They're very expensive to put together because you're carving out a portion of the game to let people download and play. You're only playing just a portion. But let's be real. Every time a demo comes out, especially if it's on PC or if you got a hacked console, people will data mine the hell out of it and try to get any kind of information they can pull from just the game's line of code to see what's in it. Just off of a demo, they do that.
I mean, which, I mean, data mining, I guess you could say it does give you a clue, but it doesn't really tell the full story because it's just ideas and that's it. But
it makes for a lot of speculation videos on YouTube, a lot of unnecessary speculation videos on YouTube.
for one day and one day only. I'm kind of mad I didn't just do it for the sake of doing it. Cyberpunk was on sale for $4.99 on PlayStation 4. Which I was sitting back and I'm like, why didn't I just jump on that just for the sake of having it? And then I realized I don't really care for the game anymore.
I don't care for it.
I had a
I
moment where I was
never
like,
cared for it.
I cared for it, and then when I heard all the issues, and it was mainly on the last gen consoles and not on the PlayStation 5 and PC, which was constantly getting updates, I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It's I can't do this shit because that shit was just no. I'm not doing it. $4.99 was enticing, but I was like, nah, I'm good. Just
I can't. I couldn't do
I
it.
mean, fuck, it was $10 on Black Friday last year.
It's all right. It's all right, man. Give it another give it another 7-8 months, and no, not even that. Sorry, we're in freaking April. Jesus. Yeah. Just just give it another few months, and we'll be back at Black Friday again, and it's probably gonna be cheaper than that.
So the Steam Deck came out. Was it a few weeks ago?
Well, the first wave of Steam Decks have been released.
Yeah, Valve, they've been kind of looking back. I think it's been a month. Yeah, it was about a month or so since like you said, the first wave of them came out, and they've been getting some feedback on it. One of them being improving the battery life on the Steam on the Steam,
which that was no surprise.
I mean,
I think I did mention it. I said, dude, but I got a feeling that this thing is going to come out and the battery's going to suck.
Like you might not even be able to play. I mean, that's probably why they're trying to push for that the docking thing very really quick.
It needs it.
It should have had it from jump, to be honest with you. That's why I'm like, why didn't you have a docking station from jump with this shit? Like, now I gotta keep the shit plugged in the whole time while I'm playing, basically.
Congratulations, my guy. We're back to the Game Gear.
No, it's basically the Switch minus the fucking dock. That's all.
No, I call it the Game Gear because that thing did not survive 2 hours before you need to plug it in. That thing ran off of 6 batteries back in the day, and if you're walking around free battering it, you needed that thing to be plugged in.
Yeah.
Between that and the Sega Nomad, that's what the Steam Deck is. This thing has to constantly be plugged in.
Yeah, somebody tried to put Windows on the Steam Deck and it didn't work out.
Well. that was a Linus Media Group. He did that.
Like that shit is not designed for no fucking small screen.
He posted a video said that he tried to install Windows 11 and regretted it almost immediately. Marcus Brownlee, he actually put up a review about it, and I haven't even watched it yet, but I did see the title of it, and I just know it was something. It was Valve terrible Steam Deck, and I said, "Oh, all right, Marcus. Let me go ahead and add to the watch later list because I definitely want to check that out."
Yeah, I mean, it's to me at the end of the day, it's one of those things where I was excited for it, but like I said, I got my graphics card, so I'm like, well, fuck you, Steam Deck. I don't need you anymore. I was really about to grovel and get it as a temporary replacement. I was like, well, fuck this. I already got my graphics card. I don't need you anymore, dude.
Sam, I need you to I'm gonna need you to call me Two-Face because I planned on getting it, and I planned on getting it and doing exactly what he does with the coin. I am flipping that bad boy.
Have fun with that.
Because I've seen on stock on a freaking StockX, if you got the 1 terabyte version, you spend about $600 on that version of the Steam Deck, and you're getting back at least $1,800. The going rate on that market is like around $2,000. I'm like, fam, let me go ahead and get that. I'll get that and flip it.
Oh man, on the Gran Turismo side of things, the good old company at Polyphony Digital, they at Walkback, me and D bought GT7 when it first came out, and we enjoyed it, and then they put out a patch. That patch decided, hey, we're not going to give you a lot of money for these races. Pissed off a lot of us, including me. I was like, what the fuck? So I guess so many complaints later, they finally walked it back, and now they gave everybody 2 million more, as an apology, and they patched it to where people get more money from payouts for races and also for online races, which I believe starts right now in terms of it being enacted. When I'm just looking at Polyphony, like, so what did you learn?
My question, see, you say, what did you learn? My question to them is, how long are you going to do this? Because just as easy as you were able to take something away and give it back to us, you know you can take it away again. What's to stop you from doing this again?
That's the thing. It's like, because the thing is, they did this update to ease up on the grind, because that was the biggest issue, was like, you did all this and we have to grind, and now they made it better now. So
Because I
like,
think if nobody complained about it, I could see this happening, because this has happened with so many different companies. They would have put out that update, and if nobody said anything, one update later, we would have started seeing microtransactions of get what is it, spend $20 and get this much currency.
yeah. I mean, like I said, a lot of stuff they added was like some of the 24-hour races and the endurance races, which I need to really jump into, because those are fun, because it kind of reminds me of Test Drive Le Mans?
Unlimited. Oh, Le
Test,
Mans.
yeah, Test Drive Le Mans. That came packaged with the Jet Set Radio Future.
Nice.
But like, it just reminds you of that. But it was just kind of funny where I'm just looking at, like, did you guys not learn the lesson? Like, but it is what it is.
They probably did. They're just ashamed to admit it.
Yeah.
The closest the closest you get is just them walking it back.
So what is the update on the supposed graphics card that was supposed to like put the fucking crypto market in the Cobra clutch?
Oh, they've already been doing that. That was like, good example. The graphics card I have right now, I have a Zotac 3080 overclocked edition card, but it specifically prints LHR, which means low hash rate.
Is
So
that the one? Is that the one that they designed specifically for cryptos to supposedly free up the other graphics cards?
No. This was designed to deter people from running out and buying like 20 of these things and doing crypto mining.
God.
By
Yeah.
giving
So what happened?
because you need a card that has a high hash rate in order to mine crypto properly. You get one with a low hash rate, it won't do it. You can hack this thing and get the original hash rate back, but I don't care to crypto mine with it. I bought this thing to play games, and that's what I'm going to do with it. And also to render out videos whenever I'm editing. But other than that, you get yourself like a bunch of these cards and put them all together, and yes, you can do crypto mining. But the cards that they decided to put out, I haven't looked into it as much to find out what's going on with that. I'm hoping that they put them out to at least curve the market. But
yeah, I remember when they announced it, and I was like, okay, so what happened to that?
But seeing how graphics cards have returned in full force with decent prices again, it made me think something happened.
I mean, I think I saw it was like last week they said graphics card shipments increased, but that still doesn't account for the fact that like it's like some regions supposedly the card prices have dropped, but it's still kind of a bitch and a half to still get cards.
It is, but it's still, put it this way, it's easier than it's ever been to get a graphics
compared
card.
to last year.
Compared to the last 2 years.
Yeah, so it's like basically it's the split. It's like, all right, you can get your graphics card, but you still gotta deal with the bullshit that comes with it.
Well, not as much, but yeah, you're still dealing with something.
Which
there's a higher possibility of you dealing with some bullshit.
Which I only chalk up to the fact that COVID hasn't subsided, but I'm noticing in a lot of industries, COVID hasn't stopped them increasing production and getting it back to where it normally is.
If anything, it's caused them to pump out more numbers to gain back the losses that they suffered over the last 2 years.
Yeah. Funny thing, when we were talking about the Steam Deck, though, I did see somebody post up a video about how like emulation is like stupid easy on the fucking Steam Deck,
Yeah.
which I'm like, well, I'm not surprised.
I mean, dude, you're talking about an industry that gave us the king of emulation, and that's Raspberry Pis.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to see it on like the PSP, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some people do emulation on the Switch,
Yep. they've
which
done
I'm
that.
like, all right, cool. But the Steam Deck, I'm just sitting back like, oh, I'm not surprised.
It's expected.
Yeah, so it is what it is. Like I said, the nature of PC gaming has been very interesting at this stage.
I agree.
So it's like you said, it's more easier now than ever just to do it. So I'm just saying, folks, just dive into it and just do it. Might as well.
Build your PC.
Might as well get an opportunity to do it and stuff. So why not? Why not? What else happened? What else
Something happened. Next level battle circuit is pretty much done. And
what happened?
Oh, Team Spooky, he's announced his retirement.
Nobody is coming to take the baton. Nothing.
Well,
that's not happening.
Put it like this. Him, you remember how he was streaming?
Because wasn't Arturo doing it?
Yeah, he was. But I remember Spooky did. He left New York and was doing the streaming thing for the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he might still be doing that. But as far as him covering or at least having his equipment there for next level, that's done. He said it himself. He'll still do like local stuff, but as far as him like streaming, he's done.
Yeah.
Like he just wants to do his own thing, which he did say he wants to do his own thing like Max or Eris.
Yeah.
Not me, the other Eris.
Yeah,
the bearded one.
Supposedly
avoiding the puddle.
I mean, supposedly him leaving next level battle circuit online seems like it's just the online shit he's leaving.
Yeah, he's leaving that, but remember, next level was widely known as like the online spot. I mean, unless you were in New York and you wanted to go see the event live, kind of like how it was, that would be like if for us, if Xanadu was to announce after all their years of doing online, they said, you know what, such as like whoever was in charge of doing the online portion is done. He's pretty much picking up the ball and going home, taking all of his equipment with him, right? Yeah. And unless somebody else is able to pick up the mantle and and carry it on, they're not going to have any live streams. Yeah, so
somebody else.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Unless somebody else steps up and takes over and does that, next level is not going to be able. They're not going to have any streams. And this did, this incited like a number of things. There was a lot of stuff that went down between the guys that were running next level, and for some certain players from Texas.
Oh yeah, because of the event.
They would only bring in like certain people with with special treatment and all this other mess, and not just anybody from Texas, could come there. So that sparked a lot of issues, and then just the way everybody felt some kind of way at the way that Spooky had announced his departure from, after all these years, he's finally hanging it up. You got some people that felt like, hey, it's cool, man. Like you've worked all these years, take your rest. You know what I'm saying? Do what you need to do. Go out go ahead and roll off into the sunset. And then you have some other people going, this is some bullshit. I'm feeling some type of way. My experience with next level, was really fucking cruddy and I don't like it. And everybody was just coming at, like, everyone who disagreed was coming at Spooky's neck.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think at the end of the day, everybody coming at him on that is just stupid. Because I'm like, come on, dog. What you think was going to happen? Like,
but he has addressed it. He has addressed it recently, and again, I was like, yo, Spooky, you've been doing this since Street Fighter 4. So Street Fighter 4 had came out, and the tournament scene was budding into what it is now. Like, you were at the forefront of being like one of the pioneers of broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not to mention being a tournament organizer.
Yeah.
And I get it. Being a TO is a very, very thankless job.
I mean, it's always been a thankless job. Let's be real. Like, it's
But a lot of people don't
literally
see it like that.
I mean, because the thing of it is, it's like this. I think we've talked at length about the aspect of organizing events, right? We talk about BlurCon and all these events and how they run it, and I think the Universal Fan Con situation was a good example of running an event, and we've seen it in the fighting game community in the sense of, I think a lot of people, and I think the On Blast show highlighted it too, the fact that people really don't understand the amount of effort and time that you really have to put in to run an actual tournament.
Yes. I mean,
Like-
running a tournament is one thing, but running an entire con, you know, trying to run a small con, it's, you know, it's doable. But if this is your first con and you're trying to do your version of Otakon, like year one, and this is your first time doing it, it's a logistical nightmare.
Now take it to the degree of next level battle circuit. And every Tuesday, every Tuesday, you got to bring the whole thing to the place. You got to make sure that everything is set up properly. It's not lagging, that they got the proper internet infrastructure into place to actually do it, you know, and
there's a lot of I's to dot and T's to cross.
Yeah, make sure that, you know, you're watching your shit so people don't steal the shit, and just, it's a lot.
Gotta watch out for collusion.
Yeah, collusion.
Because that happened a lot at Next Level.
I mean, doing it online only during COVID probably made it way easier in terms of, you know, how to do it, because it's online. So you just have one central person, and then you go to a room, and then boom, y'all do your thing. Fine, cool. But like, doing it live is definitely a thing. So like, for him to step away, I could see how that's stressful as shit any damn way. So it's like, all right, cool, I get it. You know, it is what it is. So I mean, Spooky is an institution, but like I said, that effort of him saying next battle online, he didn't even say he was gone.
Yeah, I mean, he just simply said that he was stepping away to do his own thing. I mean, he wanted to do what Max does, and you know, again, he said, like Max and Eris, those guys, they do their own thing. They don't need to be in the tournament scene anymore. They really don't need to do any of that. They're just doing their own thing online. I mean, hell, look at Justin. He still appears at tournaments, but he's been doing his own thing, you know, while he's living in Canada.
Yeah, I mean, you know, so I don't think we talked about it offline before we had started live. The Japanese fighting game industry has definitely, there was an article that came up on Event Hubs where essentially in more ways than one, the days of a game coming out arcade only for a year is done. It's officially done. Because the studios, particularly from Bandai Namco and Arc Systems, they're realizing, hey, we're making a lot of money from these games on consoles, and we're not really getting much return on investment in the arcades. Yeah. So why are we delaying these games and making it arcade only initially again?
Because, you know, because this is a tried and true thing with, especially with Namco. Namco, since Tekken 6. This whole thing started with Tekken 6.
I said Tekken 5.
No, we did get Tekken 5 in America. Like,
but how long was Tekken 5 in arcades before we got it? Because remember, we got Tekken 5, and then you remember we end up getting like Resurrection.
Put it like this. We got Tekken 5 on PS2, which was like the first version. We got the first version of Tekken 5 on PS2.
How long was it in arcades before it hit PS2?
It was in arcades for at least 6 months. Okay, like not even barely a year. I'm gonna say at most a year, but at minimum 6 months. Because remember, you know, thanks to my alleged ways, I was I already had it on PS2, and you were at my place.
I mean, the passage of time is already done. It's not like they're gonna fucking arrest you and shit right now. I mean,
but still, man. Hey, look, man, cover your tracks. I keep my tracks.
Harada gonna come up there and fucking bop you upside the head and put you in handcuffs and shit.
Hey, look, man, you're talking to someone who actually met the guy several times. All right. but no. But anyways, but no. Seriously. It was a significantly small amount of time in comparison to recent years of how they've handled Tekken.
Yeah.
Tekken 5, which is why I said that Tekken 5, I don't use Tekken 5 as an example.
Because I got back from deployment in 2007 and Dark
Yeah.
Resurrection was like popping up on PS3. So,
But understand, Dark Resurrection had long been in the arcade, and the only way that we could even get Dark Resurrection
PSP.
was on PSP. Now
that was desperation at that
that
point,
was
folks.
hella desperation.
I was this close to get a PSP for Dark Resurrection. That's how desperate
I already
was.
did. I already got it.
You and Sean were the only two I knew that bought the fucking PSP for Dark Resurrection. So my ass was like, now granted,
Bro.
I was in California, so I was technically playing Dark Resurrection arcades, but the idea of actually having it in my hand physically and not going to arcade, I was this close to buying that shit.
Let me tell you something. The struggle was real playing on that damn thing, but
y'all on the East Coast, at least the West Coast, I had the benefit of an arcade I could actually go to play it, but still, it's just the principle of I want it in my hand.
But still,
yeah.
This whole thing stems back to Tekken 6. Tekken 6 had been in the arcade for at least 2 years. At minimum 2 years.
Dude, Japan was waxing the US's ass and Tekken 6 for 2 years.
America had no like there was nothing.
Correction. The West Coast of the United States stood
West Coast of the United States, and if you lived in this small section over here in New York or New
those
Jersey,
were the only two places that had like the current Tekken 6.
They were able to like the ones that were fortunate enough to import it.
Like
but no.
8 on a Break and was it Chinatown?
Yeah, 8 on the Break in Chinatown. But no, this whole thing started with Tekken 6. With Tekken 6 being in the arcade for some number of years, and then finally, thanks to the PS3 and 360, we got a dual release. It came out on both platforms, which was a shock because Tekken at that point had never been on an Xbox platform before. So having 6 come to 360, that was the first time it ever been on a Microsoft console.
Mm.
So that's where that whole thing came in. And remember, we all thought, what version of Tekken 6 were we getting? Were we getting regular Tekken 6 or were we getting Bloodline Rebellion? And we got the latest version of Bloodline Rebellion, but they just called it Tekken 6. So that was that. And then you and I felt like, we felt like we felt like some freaking rock stars because we went to NEC and they brought the cabinets that had Tekken Tag 2.
Which was fun. Have fun time playing that.
Now, Tekken Tag 2, again, this is another game that had been in the arcades of Japan for some time, quite some time. We never saw hide nor hair of it until 2012.
Yeah.
Now, Tekken 6 didn't come to console until 2009.
Yeah.
And Tag 2 didn't come to consoles until 2012.
Yeah, because they put out the HD Tekken Tag tournament prior to that.
Yeah.
To kind of prep people.
Which was part of Tekken Blood Vengeance.
Yeah, they to prep people for Tekken Tag 2, and stuff.
And it just felt like an eternity of when the hell were we going to get Tag 2? And then we finally get it towards the end of the PS3 and 360's life cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward into 2015. Tekken 7 gets announced and it's in arcades. Now, at this point, I'm in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I had been playing Tekken 7 with the vanilla stages for about 2 years. And then I think somewhere within that second year, the second or third year, we got the new version of Tekken 7. They updated everything and they changed the stages around completely. So a lot of the, like, for example, the full daytime, the daytime stage of the jungle with the freaking wrecked plane or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They changed it to like a sunset look, and a lot of the other stages had changed completely. Where I'm like, yo, where is the color? Mm-hmm. I'm like, what? Like, why did all the colors get muted in these damn stages? Like, I missed the vanilla stages. Thank God for hackers. Hackers managed to go in.
I mean, hackers are gonna always do what they do anyway.
Like, when the game had came out on PC, hackers went in and found all of the original stages and put the vanilla colors back in. So we got our vanilla stages back. I was happy for that. But anyway, it wasn't until 2017, 2018 when Tekken 7 got released, and when it got released on console and PC. And I remember saying it for the longest time during our during our times talking. I said, dude, they can't. This has to be the last time. They cannot do this again. Like, this is hurting the franchise by doing this, releasing it in an arcade for umpteen amount of years, and then finally giving it to us on console. Like, by the time it comes to console, the game is already old. And honestly, that's how I felt. Like, I felt that way about Tekken 7 because I had played it so much in the arcade that by the time we finally got it on home console, the game was old to me.
Yeah. I mean, and so
like, imagine imagine you playing Street Fighter. Like, good example, Chris. Imagine Street Fighter 5 came out in the arcade first, right? Imagine that you've been playing it in the arcade for 3 years, and then, hey, coming to the PS5, by 2026 or whatever, is Street Fighter 5 on PS5. Like, bro, by the time this game got here, it's already old.
Yeah.
And it's like, so think about this. From 2015 to 2022, Tekken 7 has been going that long.
And that's the dangers of, not the dangers, but that's just for these companies to now realize, hey, we're making more money than what the arcades were. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. Like,
I'm like, everybody's been telling you that, but for some reason, y'all been going off of the mentality of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It
makes sense, but yeah,
keeping it involved. I understand keeping it in the arcade, but guess what?
All right, so me and Aris, me and ASD, we've played this game called Wong and Midnight Maximum Tune. It's series,
very good game,
very good fun game series. They are now at Maximum Tune 6RR, which is the recent one, with another one that's supposed to be coming out, like the third update, because that's what they do ever since 4. They had like three different versions of 4, 3 different versions of 5, because 5 is at 5DX plus 1. That's the one that's out at Round 1 Arcade now. And I think 6 is at the second iteration of it, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. So the newest one at the local Round 1s is at 5DX plus. And why is there like 100 plus chapters for Wong and Midnight? I'm really trying to figure this one out. I was like, 100 chapters. I don't remember it being that many in 3.
Hell, you're saying that many in 3, dude. I remember
3 was like 60 chapters, I think.
Yeah.
Now it's at 100 plus the addition of new cars.
Yeah, you got they added a whole bunch of new cars, and they've added more storyline to the game.
Isn't it from the manga though that they're kind of pulling heavily from, more or less?
It is. But the manga, and the manga has been running from, let's see, September 20th, 2016 to now.
Jesus.
And that's the newest manga. That's the newest manga. The one before it was August 11, 2014 to April 13, 2015. And the C1 runner, which was the first, I believe it was the first, August 4th, 2008 to July 9, 2012.
Yeah,
and of course the original manga was from 1990 to 2008.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a manga series that's been running since 1990 to now.
It's ridiculous.
So
just
to borrow,
probably longer than Initial D.
It's way longer than Initial D. Initial D didn't come out to 98.
It's insane. Yeah, like the 6R that's out right now. It's interesting because I'm seeing a lot of folks apparently on the PC side of things, you can actually play these games on PC through slight retooling, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so which I'm pretty sure you can find ways. I think you gave me a copy of, well, you showed me a link to
Oh yeah, to allegedly play it on your PC.
Yeah, so
I believe that one was for 5.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it was
So
for 5.
but the game definitely is like it's way different gameplay wise in terms of how the cars function and play. Like it's
For
the
one thing,
cars go way faster.
they definitely go way faster, and the graphics, holy crap! It wasn't until Wangan 6 where
Yeah, because
uh
5 just felt like okay,
it felt
it's all
more
right.
it felt more of the same of like the previous games where okay, the graphics on the cars on yeah, they look cool and all, but it wasn't until 6 came out where I'm like, holy crap, we got actual reflections, actual lighting, we got some legit physics here.
hmm I mean, it's yeah. So, but yeah, I like I said, I played 5DX Plus, enjoyed it. I'm kind of curious on like supposedly the reason why I brought this up because supposedly what happened was the reason why it never came to the US is because of COVID. If COVID
Makes
never
sense.
happened, we kind of technically would have been maybe one game behind from Wong at Midnight here because we
Yeah.
probably would have got 6 and at most it'd been like, all right, well, they got 6R, but we still would have been close. But we're 2 games behind now, and it's like, when we're gonna get 6? Well, you know, it's gonna be one of those like you gotta find your local place or take you behind up the West Coast or 8 on a break in Jersey.
Or wait till the borders open and go to Japan.
That too.
That's my only thing you can do.
I mean, you ain't lying. I mean, fuck, you're right.
It's like, I'm like sorry, but not sorry. It's just
I
the
mean,
truth.
hey, look, I got nothing for that other than man has a point. What do you want? I mean,
Hey,
so
it's what I had to do. I mean, imagine my shock when I first went to Japan and I brought my freaking Max Tune 3 card, the
mhm,
little paper one.
yeah.
I get to the machine, I see a Max Tune 3DX. It was a 3DX Plus. I was ready to play it. Like I pull out my card, I put it in, and dude, that thing spit my card out so fast because it was for a different region. See, unlike unlike now with the ban of passports, and that's the other thing too. They stopped the individual game cards. Like I missed the Wangan cards where depending on what card you bought, it was random whose picture you would end up with.
Yeah, if you have the Bana the Bandai Bana passes, that's like the official card to use because as soon as I used it for 5DX Plus, it updated mine's automatically and boom, carried over my card into the next game.
Yep.
So lastly, so PlayStation Plus updated their subscription price plans.
Mhm.
And it still feels like it could have been on par with Game Pass, and it's just
You had one job.
So you have 3 different tiers. PlayStation Plus Essential, which is essentially what you already have right now. PlayStation Plus includes multiplayer access, 2 monthly downloadable game discounts, cloud storage for game saves, $59.99 a year, $9.99 per month. Fine. PlayStation Plus Extra includes everything from the Essential plus catalog of up to 400 PS4 or PS5 games, $99 a year. PlayStation Plus Premium, all the essential and extras, with an extra 340 games that include PS3 titles that can be streamed and some original PlayStation, PS2, and PSP games. Time limited game trials are also available, priced at $119.99 a year. Hey, Sony, what if I already own those PlayStation 3 games? Does that carry over into that? Apparently it doesn't. I don't know. I don't think it does.
I don't think so either. And unlike Game Pass, if I buy a game, do I get to like is that game mine forever?
Or if you already own the
Or
previous Xbox game, you just have to put it into the Series X and it will notice like, oh, he has this game. And then
yeah, everything just carries over. Like the moment you touch that game, it's yours.
yeah.
Unlike PlayStation where that game is tied to your Plus account, and if your Plus account ever expires and you forget to reactivate it, all those games that you got off of Plus are not yours.
This is why I never got rid of my previous PlayStation's consoles. I'm like, I'm good. I am 100% good on that. Cause like just so did you see that article of people getting pissed off at the game offerings for this month?
Okay, so I need to see, like, what are they? Oh, I see.
Slay the Spire, SpongeBob SquarePants, Battle for Bikini Bottom,
and Hood Outlaws and Legends.
Apparently, people didn't really like it because it was like, this is some bullshit.
This is quite underwhelming.
I mean, somebody was like, it's another dead multiplayer game, which I'm like, he ain't lying. I mean, who's playing Hood? Who's playing that game? Who's really playing that game? Especially when you have games like Knockout City taking it over.
Just stop.
I mean, the SpongeBob game, I don't get it.
No, you know my favorite thing that came out about this news? Mm-hmm. How about the fact that they said first party, what was it, day one releases will not be a part of this this PlayStation Plus platform.
Brought a dick on that one at that point.
I'm like, fam, y'all really out here just giving Microsoft the game.
Yeah, that's why I'll just stick with my $99 a year subscription and keep it moving, because I don't see the point of all this other extra bullshit.
Like, bro, this is like that fuck the Knicks meme. Boston rolled the Knicks 106.
I mean, really, it's just like, what did we like?
Boston rolled over the Knicks 106 to, what was it, 50?
Oh, shout out to Jim Sterling for pointing out how the NFT thing just crashed and burned in the gaming sphere at this point now. Thank God.
Well, that's because nobody was really trying to incorporate NFTs into video games, or they didn't see the significance of doing that. You know, outside of the companies that were trying to do it, because reasons, you know, the audience wasn't buying it.
Dude, I think was it Ubisoft or one of these companies said that they only had a total of 20 sales of NFTs total.
That's terrible.
Which I'm like, yeah, everybody told you guys this shit is not viable. Like, especially trying to do it on the metaverse shit, and apparently the metaverse shit isn't catching on like everybody thought it was. And I'm like, yeah, no shit, because it's there's nothing there.
And who said this?
I think Jim Sterling.
No. I mean, who made that announcement that they only had X amount of sales?
I think it was Ubisoft.
Ubisoft said that?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Ubisoft, you could have kept that to yourself.
I mean,
why even make that announcement?
I don't know.
You're already a joke to a lot of people.
I mean,
stop shooting yourself in the foot. Give me the gun, Ubisoft. Give me the gun. Because you keep shooting yourself.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, that's a good, quick, impromptu pressing buttons. You got a lot of stuff there. I'm definitely gonna get back into the swing of things of streaming again, because of life things have happened.
Yeah, this guy. I'm not, I ain't even gonna go there. I'm just
not even that, just working.
No. I mean, I know it's been work, but I know it's been other things. I'm just gonna happily say that I am very proud of this man here. I'm just gonna leave it at that. So still no word yet on Shredder's Revenge, but
yeah, I'm still waiting for that shit, because I'm like, let's go.
But we do have, to hold us over, the Cowabunga collection. And I did hear some things about that. The Cowabunga collection, it's definitely going to be censored when it comes to us. Just whether it's the English or a Japanese version, the game is going to be censored. And the stuff to be censored is going to be, from my understanding, if you play the arcade version of Turtles in Time, you know, that classic song, Pizza Power.
Yeah.
That's gone. I know. Apparently they couldn't get the clearance to like to get that song put back in the game. They either didn't want to pay or whatever the reason. And of course they didn't want to give Pizza Hut money, so all advertisements of Pizza Hut are gone.
Isn't that usually how it is anyway? It's like, hey, we don't want to pay the money, so
And
fuck
I'm
'em.
like, how much money would you even have to pay them? How much?
Enough for them to be like, all right, cool, I guess.
To get the old Pizza Hut logo? Because I for damn sure don't want to see the new one. Put the old one back.
This is true.
You know, put it back in the game. I mean, the whole point of this game is supposed to be nostalgic, classic, you know, retro titles. And for them to try to take that stuff and try to slap a new version of the logo on it, that definitely wouldn't work. I would just say, just pay these people, give them their money. You know, can we please get, and I don't even know if the games that they're pulling are, I know Pizza Power is not going to be in the opening, so I don't even know what the hell it's been replaced with. I don't even know if we're even getting the Ninja Turtles theme song from the '87 cartoon for the arcade game opening. You know, because in the arcade game it actually plays the actual song from the '87 show. I don't know if that got pulled too.
Yeah. But yeah, that is yeah. I like I said, I'm still hyped for the game, but I'm like, come on, man.
Like, I'm still gonna play it, and of course, no, there's gonna be no cross-platform. Again, you have one job.
Fuck it up. Fucking up. Oh well.
A Street Fighter. Sorry, we talked about the Capcom Fighting Collection though.
Yeah. We talked about that last time. I mean, it's supposed. I mean, might as well call it the Darkstalkers collection because that's what's
it is.
A good chunk of the stuff anyway. Is Darkstalkers.
Darkstalkers with.
I ain't mad at it. I mean, you know,
it's the Darkstalkers special with a side of Puzzle Fighter, Pocket Fighter, and Hyper Street Fighter and Red Earth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Cyberbots.
Yeah. So yeah. Darkstalkers featuring the other Capcom games.
I'm still holding out for hope. Please, Capcom. Please.
Go hold out for hope, but you know.
No. I'm holding out for hope for this. Capcom, please. I know I said this in the last podcast, but please, when you release this, can we please get the Capcom 3D fighting collection?
That's not gonna happen.
Give us 10. It's just
not
10.
Gonna happen. They're not gonna pay Eureka money.
I don't even care if they don't include those. I really don't care. But
they're gonna look at you and be like, you better go ahead and buy that fucking Fighting Layer EX shit.
I'm not asking for that. I really don't care. See, I would be amazed if they did get the okay from Eureka, or if they just paid Eureka to get all 3 EX games included. I just mainly want Power Stone and Rival Schools. Just give me those.
I mean, you might as well just add in Cannon Spike, but like I said, the Power Stone shit, it's one of those.
But it has to be a fighter. I mean, unless of course that could be a bonus game they can throw in, would be Cannon Spike.
I mean, you have 2 fighting game characters in the game, so hey,
But it's still more of a side. It's more of a side scroller, or like it's basically a beat 'em up.
Yeah. I mean, I think at the end of the day, they're gonna that's just what it's gonna end up being. Unfortunately, they're just gonna stick with these games, and some of the other games just kind of get put into the wayside. Unfortunately,
but I still see it. I see something. I see possibilities. Okay.
I mean, they could do it, but you know,
just do it and get it done. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah. But anyways, that is Pressing Buttons, and we will be back for more, hopefully coming close to EVO and some of these other tournaments. It's been weird with COVID because EVO got the announcements, and
I think
now I'm just kind of like
canceled the in-person this year.
They didn't cancel in-person this year.
They didn't?
No, I remember they did all the announcements for all the games.
No, you know, I'm sorry. I'm actually thinking about.
Don't do that, man. You got people pissed off at us. Like, the fuck you mean EVO's canceled this year?
Or were they doing like the 2 weekend thing from last year?
Nah, because I'm on the
Like,
East
so
Coast.
it's
Yeah,
official. So it's
August-
officially in person.
August 5th through the 7th.
Okay. Bold move. Let's go. Let's see what happens.
I mean, hey. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, that is pressing buttons, and we'll be back later. Peace out.
Deuces.